Hi, this is Leigh Ambergy, stampwithleigh.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Mentor, Ohio, and welcome to my video today. If you are returning, thank you for stopping back. If you are new, again, thank you for tuning in. What I'm featuring today is the, I've been working on some of my team challenge cards. And one of the challenges was to use the new in colors with current core colors. So that's what I've done. So I picked Hydrangea Hue, and I went to the color coach, and I saw all of our core colors. This is one current in color, but I saw all the core colors that go with it. So I was looking at this going, wow, that's some strange combinations, but I am really pleased with my little experiment with what I did. So my card base is basic white. My first layer is Hydrangea Hue, and I took, it's in my stamp positioner, but then this is the background stamp. What one is it? Flower Fair. This is the stamp, the packaging, and I stamped the background stamp, and this is actually with Versamark. And then I used the background stamp again on a smaller piece of basic white. I colored with blends. These little embellishments are the ink. I don't have them right here with me. They're the in color, here they are. They're the in color color dots, and I love these. They're kind of like our flat pearls we had for the previous in colors, but I really like those. And then I matted this onto a piece of my lemon lime cardstock. I colored with Bubble Bath, Lemon Lime Twist, and Crumb Cake blends, light and dark. My greeting is from the banner sayings, and also the coordinating punch for that. That's what I punched that out with. And I really and truly wanted to use Crumb Cake to tie into my crumb cake, and I grabbed the Bubble Bath faux linen ribbon, but it's still okay. I did a little double bow, but it still works. So this is the inspiration for what my video is going to be. I'm going to change things up just a little bit. It's nothing really with the color. I'm changing up, just going to try something different with my greeting. I'm using different embellishments, and I did pull out my linen thread to make sure that I did use that. So yeah, let's get started. So like I said, my card base is basic white, 4 1/4 by 11. It's scored at 5 1/2, just folded in the middle. And if you are watching this from my YouTube channel, there will be a link in the description box that will take you to my blog post, stampwithleigh.com, that will have a listing of the products that I used and measurements for this. Everything except for around here, the embellishments and the cardstock will not be available until May 5th. That's when the new catalog rolls out. But again, here is my first layer, and I distressed the edge with, this is a Stampin' Up! Distressing tool they had like 100 years ago, and long retired, but I kept mine. It was still good, so I kept it. But I do want to show you how to distress your edges if you do not have a distressing tool. So I'm going to grab a scrap of paper here, and when I do this, I do hold this over my my trash can, because you do get fine little crumbs. So all you do is you take your scissors and you just scrape that along your edges, and it will sometimes give you like a little, I've got one in here somewhere, a little tear somewhere. Oh, here it is. But it's still fine. You're distressing the edges. That's all you want to do, is just add some texture. And little bit of visual aspect to it. And I will say corners are the hardest to get without actually really tearing them. But sometimes if you do, it still adds to it. And sometimes I just sort of roll and crinkle, break down the fibers on those edges so they're not as sharp. All right, so I'm just going to get rid of that. Close my scissors up, put them away before I stab myself. I am not very coordinated. So on this, okay, I've already stamped that. And for a large background stamp like this, I would suggest, I have Versamark ink on that, so that's why I have it covered up. I would suggest that if you have the old Stampin' Up! Stamparatus, or if you have the new Stampin' Positioner, to use that. That's great with background stamps. I happen to have a Misty Stamp Positioner, so that's what I use. All right, so I colored in my flowers, and I'm just going to mount this onto a piece of my lemon lime cardstock. Yeah, before I do that, I want my linen thread on here. Jeez, I pulled it out and then I still forgot to use it. So I think I want, and I think I'm just going to use, I didn't know if I wanted to use 2 strands to double it up, but I think I just want something very, very, very light-like. So I'm just going to use 1 strand, my adhesive on the back. I guess I could have been a little bit more generous with getting this on here. You can wrap your ribbon or your linen thread, your twine, all the way around your project if you want. I don't. It saves my ribbon and twine, gives me a little bit more uses out of it. And also it doesn't add bulk to my finished project. So let's see if we can get this centered or somewhat close to being centered. Yeah, there's no guarantees. All right, so I have that there. Let me get this piece, down. Got some crumbs on there from where I was distressing that other piece. All right, so like that. I was debating when I put this down if I want it on dimensionals. What do you think? I'm thinking yes. Do I have any? Oh, I've got pieces, parts. All right. Pieces, parts work just as fine. So I've got pieces, parts here. And if I had realized I wanted to use dimensionals, I would have had these already on the back and then just pulled them off instead of you sitting here watching me put them on and then peel them off. But, okay, so we're going to get this on just a slight angle. Good, I like that. Tie my bow later because I want to put my greeting on. So my greeting on there was also stamped with the Hydrangea Hue in color. And I've got my Memento ink, and I'm going to stamp my greeting. Looks pretty good. I'm always amazed. All right, so I'm still going to use this one, but if I put it in this way, my arrow is going to be the opposite way. So since I'm really not left-handed, I'm going to try and get this lined up how I think it looks good with it being upside down. No, I thought I had it. All right, I'm going with it. All right, came out good. So this one I had at the bottom. I don't know if I want this I mean, that would be good because it would kind of cover the little like bare spot with the flower in the stem. But I really like when things are not like in the center. I like them when they're a little off kilter. And you know what? I will probably still just keep going with at the bottom. But I wanted to try something else. I wanted to see what would it look like. And I just popped out a little piece. What it would look like if I did this and I added this to it. Well, I guess it would look better if it wasn't where that was, but you know what? Okay, that was what I was going to try different. That didn't work, but I am going to use dimensionals on my greeting. This whole entire card is flat. There's no dimension to it whatsoever. But this one, I'm going to add some mini dimensionals onto it. And I might end up regretting it. And I might end up regretting my linen bow because this edge is tucked underneath. Ooh, you know what? If I put this near the edge, that will be okay. Because that way, even if the bow doesn't cover that, it will still look like it's supposed to be there. All right, sending love. I do like that on the dimensionals. All right, normally I do a bow ahead of time. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about doing this live on the video. Yeah, I don't excel at bow tying, and I probably should have made my thread a little bit longer. I am going to do a double bow. So we're going to see if I can get this to work. And I might have cut this too short. It's linen thread. I use linen thread a lot, so if it's too short, we'll just cut some a little bit longer. Gotta make sure I don't lose my strings here. Yeah, I missed one. All right, let's just cut a longer piece. Let's just cut a longer piece. It should be longer. Oh yeah, oh yes. I get from one extreme to the other. Not long enough to, I think this is going to be way too long. But again, I don't even have my ends even. I didn't even cut it even. All right, we're going to try again. And I know I've got plenty this time. All right, I know I can grab those. Okay, so all I'm going to do is try to just push that. Oh, maybe I do want it. Do I want it down below? Do I want it at the top? Because I do want to make sure you can see the greeting. So let's move it up just a little bit. There we go. All right. Let's see. I always like to take, and this probably is just me being me, but okay, my ends do look a little lopsided. So let me pull some more on this side and try to get, at least it looks like my bow parts might be somewhat equal. All right, before I move on with anything else, I'm going to use a glue dot that's hiding behind my little greeting. And I'm going to put that behind where I tied my bow. So I'm just taking a glue dot, just kind of wadding it up a little bit. And then I'm going to put it right behind that knot. But this bow and the curly strings on it looks like my hair in the morning when I get out of bed. It's kind of wild looking there. All right, so let's cut these off just a little bit. Get a little trim. Okay, well, this one still looks a little crazy. All right, so there's our bow. That does look okay. It's covering up, but it looks okay. All right, so we've got basically the same card, except I did use dimensionals on this for my one layer and then also for my greeting. And this I pulled out. These are new. They're going to be available May 5th. Shimmering dots, and it's white, granny apple green, and coastal cabana. And this granny apple green is going to match close enough with the lemon lime twist. So let's see if I can get one of these, and that's what I'm going to put in the center of my flowers. So again, like I said, on the other ones, I used the in color Hydrangea Hue, and on these, I'm using the new embellishments. So again, that's it. I got that all over the place. Very simple, basic card layout. It's just using a background stamp and a greeting. That's all it was. And I just, again, stamped that background stamp onto my Hydrangea Hues. I wanted something I wanted something there. There wasn't an embossing folder that I wanted to use. I wanted the background to be a little subtle. I did not want it something that was going to just slap you in the face. So that was the thought process behind this card. Again, it was taking a challenge, take one of the new in colors, pair it with our core colors. And yeah, I would never have picked this combination on my own. But when I saw it on the color coach, I said, "What, you know, let's give it a try and see what happens." So again, this is what I have for you. And you know, I like them both. I like the linen thread with this, but I also still like the bubble bath ribbon on this one. So again, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it, and have a wonderful day. Bye.